I'm streaming, baby. Welcome to the broadcast for the SFR GT Challenge race. This is round 9, and we are with the Division 2 drivers on the Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans, in France. We are watching the end of qualifying. There are about 3.5 minutes left in this session. On the provisional pole, we have XXCK716, our current championship leader, followed by STR Captain Goof in second place right now in the Drivers' Championship. If you are watching right now and you're having issues hearing me over the game sound, please tell me and I'll adjust the audio mix. We have a really interesting situation now with the championship. This could be the championship deciding race. CK is in the lead currently, and well, thank you, Catch. So it seems like my mic is fine. CK in the Alfa Romeo 4C Group 3 race car for PHRT is currently leading the championship by 4 points over STR Captain Goof. So if he wants to clinch the championship tonight, he has to finish first or second, whatever happens, and he will become the championship for this season. If he finishes in third place or any position lower than third, he will not be champion tonight. And we'll have to wait until Interlagos because there could still be a chance that STR Captain Goof closed the gap to first place. That should be a very interesting race. Very different cars. The Alfa Romeo 4C with the Lexus RCF GT3. And we also have a guest driver, Roush Racing 1716. And the Aston Martin, number 117, who could totally change the situation. If he wins and CK finishes in second place, CK would be the champion. If he wins and Captain Goof finishes second, the championship would still be, there would still be a battle for the championship in Interlagos for round 10, and it would reduce the gap between actually would maintain the gap between the first two drivers in the championship to 4 points, and it would mean that any of the two drivers winning the race in Interlagos would become the champion. It's going to be really interesting. And Tuck for STR and the BMW M6 is now in second place, so that's completely changing everything. Teammates might play a factor. Goof tonight has Tuck and Cyber as his teammates, whereas CK only has Boys Noise as his teammate. One could say that Roush Racing is kind of his teammate in a different life. DNA Racers, DNA Racing Team, but we'll see how it goes. Will they work together? Or will they be rivals in this race? Roush Racing doesn't have anything to do with the championship. It's his first race in the SFR GT Challenge. I just need to give them the message. Finish and park. Just so they know that the qualifying times will be official at the end of at 8:04 exactly. I don't know if Jarapapa managed to get on track. Yes, he is. He will not be able to get a qualifying lap in. He had network issues getting in the lobby. So we'll have to start in last place. Did he? Well, should I give him a lap? I don't even know where he is on the track, but I don't want to change anything. I don't even know where he is. Let me find this situation. Let's Thing is, I'm not even sure the penalty system will allow him to do this, but we'll see. I will start setting the grid. So I believe, let me check if everyone is still qualifying. So technically there are a few drivers still on their flying lap. Cyber is completing one. Two Rare is parked. Just give me a second. Actually, I have my keyboard. Why not? Why did I think about that? Please enter. Send, please. Good. Well, he has a penalty, so so I will set everything now. Let me check the times. You see the starting lineup. I don't know, Magic Man needs to re-enter the track. That's double duty tonight, hosting and broadcasting. If Magic Man stays in the pits, I cannot put him in the right position, so I have to wait for him to finish Sector 1. Yeah, I know. I'm so not used to having a keyboard to type stuff that. Why did he change to mediums already? Not yet. You need to wait for the call to change compounds. So let's do this. Live timing. Is it the actual lineup? Yes. So we would have CK on pole, Goof in second place, so the top two in the championship, first and second, so that's gonna be interesting. Roush Racing in third place, Tuck in fourth for STR, Cyber in fifth for STR, Boys Noise in sixth for PHRT, so CK's teammate. Too Rare for Rockefeller Racing in seventh. Seems like Magic Man hasn't seen my message, but it's fine. I'll try to find his right position. Should be eighth based on what I see. Viper in ninth. Hyper in 10th. J-Rod in 11th for FAMS. El Diablo. A comeback for the Rockefeller Racing driver in the M6 in 12th. And we have 13 drivers, so let's just wait for Jarapapa to finish his lap in a few seconds and we'll be able to set the grid. Yes, he'll be behind Too Rare, Magic Man, but he should know that you need to stay on the track. So that puts Jarapapa in 12th, just ahead of El Diablo. Okay, so nah. Okay, so I need to reset everything. I don't know why it's doing that. I have the times. So this, and this. Plus 3 cause yellows. Count the 4. Wait. Okay, I understood. Plus 3 cause yellows. Well, I cannot do that. I cannot reduce penalties. Please. Well, I cannot cause 3 yellows. You are confusing me, Rodrigo, please. So, pick compounds. I have the keyboard. There are no pre-race interviews this time. Let me set the grid. Everyone has to enter. Enter. And stop chatting. Let me see. This will start at 8:10, so I'll send them the message. Okay, well, too rare hasn't entered yet. Okay, finally. Now I can set everything up and we'll have this amazing race on Le Mans in a few minutes. I have Roush in 3rd, Tuck in 4th, Cyber in 5th, Boys Noise in 6th, Too Rare in 7th, Yips, Magic Man, then Viper, Hyper, J-Rod, and then Leo. So, I'm just gonna send their starting soon message. We are about to get underway for this race. There we go. Yes, Kyle, it's going to be very interesting to see what the guest driver in the Aston is going to do today. First time he races in SFR. We've seen him in the Mustang at TNTR in the past. And Pinnacle, I don't remember what he was racing in Pinnacle. I believe he was in the Lexus. So the race is about to get underway. CK in first place, Goof in second place, the 2 championship contenders. And there we go. It's gonna be interesting. Goof has the edge over CK, and Cyber is now in second place. Will he be able to cover CK for his teammate? Will we have a clean run to the first corner? I believe Cyber hit Goof there, and that sent Goof a little wide. And it gave a run to CK, and CK is gonna try to take Goof on the inside. We'll have to look at a replay of the start. But this first lap should be crazy. No major incidents so far, a little bumping here and there. Viper in 4th place already. So Goof, CK, Cyber, Viper in 4th, 2 Rare in 5th, Roush dropped to 6th. Probably had a lot of wheel spin at the start, it's a grid start. Boys Noise in 7th, CK bump drafting Goof. Jarapapa already up in 8th, Tuck has disappeared. And Goof in the wall there at the first chicane. The PlayStation chicane. So this gave the lead to CK. It's very early on in the race, but all he needs to do is finish in 1st place or in 2nd place, as long as Goof doesn't win, and he will be champion. So that's a nice start for him. And Goof bumping Cyber there. Oh! Oh! What happened there? Ay ay ay. Disaster for CK. So this means the championship will not be over tonight. Okay. And Cyber gets punted by, I don't know who did that. I believe it was Goof or 2 Rare. I don't know what the hell happened there. Okay. Now I have the worst role in motorsports right now. Because technically... Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a chaotic start. I'll have to do something I wish I didn't have to do. So, yep. We'll classify this as a major network issue and call a red flag before the end of the first lap. Could be a controversial decision, but at the same time, I don't see what else I could have done. Well, we'll have to wait. Technically, red flags are for network issues, and that was a major network issue. So I will probably be called out for a controversial decision, but at the same time, I don't see what else I could have done since we've done it in the past for network issues that were less major than this. So we try not to delay the race too much. So Okay. We'll have the start at 8:19. By the time we resolve these issues, I think the grid is already set. Yes, it's already set. So let's wait for this to be resolved as quickly as possible. There he is. Good. So enter quick, and I have to reset the grid. Make sure everyone will have to start again. Well, I will take the blame for calling a little too late, but it was still before the end of the first lap, which is a very long lap on Le Mans. So, yep. We'll start this again, starting now. Everyone is in. Start this race. Good. Let's spectate this. So, take number 2. Technically, we have the chance for 3 restarts. Hopefully, we won't need a third one, because we want to get this race underway as quickly as possible. So, once again, CK in first place, Goof in second place, the 2 championship contenders in the first and second places on the grid, on the front row. So let's see what's gonna happen this time. Hopefully there won't be another network issue. If there's one in the first half of the lap, I'll have to throw another red flag, technically. Hopefully I won't need to. And if it happens after the end of the first lap, there's no luck for CK. So, there we go again. Goof having a good start again. Roush having a good one also. Unlike the first attempt, no major pile-up there. Everything's fine. Roush in second place. Magic Man, I believe, having an incident. I don't know. Did he spin? Let me try to catch him. Yes, Magic Man. A spin. And now Goof is alone. This time no teammates to help him. But Roush in the Aston might hold Boys Noise and CK behind him for some time. If they start battling for second place, it might allow Goof to gain some ground over them. Is Vic still in the race? Yes, he's still in the race in 13th place. We'll have a look at the start. We'll just wait until we get to Indianapolis. So Boys Noise now in second place, CK in third, Roush in fourth. No one getting disconnected this time. It's going to be hard for him to make up with his foot. Oh yeah, Magic Man I think has an injury to one of his feet. Sorry. I'm not sure of the whole story about it, but I heard he's still racing with the wheel and using his pedals despite having an injury. And Tuck has left the room. Okay, well, okay, well, let's try to do something there. How am I supposed to find this? Is this a network issue? Probably, I don't know. Let me have a look at something. Where's Tuck? I think Tuck was already out. Yep. So we'll have to use another replay. No, Tuck was already out. I am not sure what happened there. We still have Goof in first place, second place Roush, Boys Noise in third, CK in fourth. I'm trying to find what happened to Tuck, but the game is not allowing me to have a look. Whereas first time I could see CK disconnect right in front of my eyes. If someone can tell me what's going on, I will gladly fix the issue. But that's no clear situation like we had with CK having network issues. Okay, so it's a DNF, not a disconnect. That's unfortunate for the STR driver. So we still have Goof in first place in the Lexus. The biggest position gained in this first lap, I believe, is Jarapapa from 12th to 5th in the Jaguar. We have Captain Goof still leading in the Lexus. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you what happened with our Magic Man since I had to use the instant replays. If someone DNFs because they are leaving the race, there is no cause for a red flag. If it's a network issue and someone gets booted from the lobby and it's out of their power, especially when they're leading the race, so there's no reason for them to DNF, then there's no red flag for that situation. We've had two red flags in Monza. We had one red flag in Bathurst for both divisions. We had one red flag on Fuji for Division 1. So these things are used very sparingly. It's not something we like to do at SFR. Usually if we have a major pileup or a network issue that causes an incident. So we still have Goof in the lead, Roush in the Aston with a very heavy car, not necessarily the best car in the Porsche curves. Oh, Boys Noise going wide there, rejoining the track right in front of Jarapapa. Yes, I believe he spun on the inside curb and then hit someone on the side. I'm not sure exactly. We'll have to go back on the stream to watch this since I am not able to show you more replays. So as things stand currently with Goof in the lead, we wouldn't have a champion tonight. It would go down to the wire in Interlagos for round 10. Things could change. It's only lap 2. We'll try to go through the field to see who gained spots and who lost positions at the start. Goof in first place for STR. Roush Racing, our guest driver in the Aston Martin, is in second place, so he gained a spot over CK. CK who managed to get back a few positions from second place at the start. Jarapapa from 12th to 4th already in the Jaguar. Boys Noise, who had gained a few spots, is now down in 5th. Too Rare started in 7th and is now in 6th. Cyber started 5th and is now in 7th, right behind Too Rare. And there's a big gap to Viper in 8th place right now, started 9th. Hyper started 10th and is now in 9th place. J-Rod in 10th place, started 11th, so they all gained a spot from Tuck leaving the lobby, DNF. Magic Man fell from 8th to 11th, and El Diablo started 13th, it is now 12th, so gained a spot with the DNF. And now CK is ahead of Roush Racing. Let's have a look at this. He was already ahead. That's a failed replay. We'll go back to the live action. So now the championship contenders are in first and second place. This would mean that Goof would close up the gap to CK in the championship. It would make the final race, the championship, the title decider. We will see what's gonna happen in the next 12 laps, with laps lasting a little less than 4 minutes, about 3 minutes 58, 3 minutes 57. That's still a long way to go. Over 40 minutes. You want me to spy on their strategies? Let's see this. Wrong thing. So we have Goof on the mediums, CK on the mediums, Roush on the mediums, Jarapapa on the softs. So different strategy there, and Boys Noise on the mediums. Usually drivers try to use the mediums for the first stint, as they are expecting to be in the draft and having other drivers in their draft behind them. And basically, if you are on the softs and someone on the mediums is drafting you and is able to stay with you for the whole first stint, you're basically wasting your soft tire stint. But Jarapapa started so far down. Whoop, I believe there was an issue. No, actually there was no spin. I heard tire screeching on the surface, but nope. And now Goof and CK bumper to bumper on the straight, heading towards the chicane Michelin. Goof still in the lead, Roush still in third, Papajara still in fourth. I am sure Rodrigo is quite excited seeing how many positions he gained in the first few laps. Still, we'll keep an eye on the battle for the lead between Goof and CK. Will they fight for first place, or will they try to run away with the first two positions? And I believe Jarapapa and Roush are fighting like crazy. Let's see what happened there. Jarapapa overtaking Roush at Mulsanne on the inside. Oh, well, that was fair. So now the driver in the Jaguar, whoop, well, that changed again, and Roush going wide in the gravel, and Goof. We'll have to have a look at this right now. What happened there? Goof and CK. Okay. Oh no, Goof lost it on his own on the inside, and that gave the lead to CK. Same thing with Roush right behind him. Oh no. That means now CK would be champion based on these results and these positions right now, but you always have to keep an eye on CK. I don't want to curse him, but the race will be long. I hope network issues won't affect the championship. Let's pray that this doesn't become a factor. CK is in the lead ahead of Jarapapa in second place, or from 12th to 2nd already. It's a great charge through the field, and Boys Noise is in third for PHRT. That would be their best case scenario if they want to win the championship. this season. They are still trailing behind STR, but with the drop rounds, if they finish first and third, they would likely overtake STR on the actual points being counted, even though they would still have less total points. Anyway, if they win the championship, they will never outscore STR unless STR drivers DNF every race. But they could still win the championship without having the most points. That's what happens when you... Whoop! And just as I talk about it, Boys Noise goes on the wall and almost hits Goof there. Forces Goof to go wide at Tertre Rouge. Let's have a look at this before they reach the chicane. I believe that was too late. I have hit the wrong marker. So we'll go back to the battle for third. Too Rare pushing Goof. So now Goof in third. And Too Rare trying to overtake Goof there. That was quite aggressive. Probably missed his braking point there. Now 4 cars are within a second of each other. Let's see what Too Rare is using. He's on the mediums. Same thing with everyone else in this pack. So Goof in third. Boys Noise, Too Rare and Roush racing 3 wide, heading towards Mulsanne. That could end up in a disaster, we'll see. Boys Noise seems to be the wisest one of the 3 and backs off. Too Rare going wide, but he's still maintaining 4th place ahead of the 2 drivers right behind him. As things stand right now, I believe, yes, CK would still be champion tonight. That's something that might change a few times during this race, but Goof's mistake at Indianapolis basically made his chances to win the championship slim, unless he tries some crazy strategy or if CK has an issue. And someone went off behind, I believe that was Cyber in the gravel at Indianapolis. So let's have a look at this. He was catching them. Actually, I have the wrong replay. And he's off again. That's a struggle for the STR's driver right now. Goof is in 3rd place ahead of Too Rare. That's still not enough. Too Rare rush and whoa, Boys Noise at the Porsche curves, going wide, rejoining the track on the racing line. He'll need to be careful he doesn't get in the way of another driver, but it's fine. He's now down in 6th. There's been a lot of chaos so far. It's only 4 laps in, 10 laps to go. That means we haven't seen everything we have to see tonight, if I may say it that way. Plenty of stuff that's gonna happen again. So basically now CK is alone in front. The only one who could challenge him for now is Jarapapa. If CK finishes 2nd behind Jarapapa, he would still win the championship tonight. That's very wide at Tertre Rouge. CK will have to be careful he doesn't get flagged by he doesn't get reported for going off the track. We'll go back to the battle for 3rd. Now Roush is ahead of Captain Goof. And well, Yeah. Well, CK is DNF again, network issue, but that's nothing I can do now. We are after the first lap, so well, DJ, I believe, yeah, well, I guess Go CK Go will not happen tonight. So I can already confirm that we won't have a champion tonight. Jarapapa is in the lead. That's the yeah. Online racing, esports, still relying on the everyone's internet being stable, but tonight is not a good night for CK. Disconnected once, disconnected twice. But that's the end of his race. But it's not the end of his championship. And if Goof finishes in third, he will have a good lead over him. He would have 8 points over Goof, heading towards Interlagos in Brazil. So now Goof needs to hope he can gain a few spots. If he finishes third, it's not very good for him. He would still have he would head to Interlagos with a 24-point drop round, two 24-point drop rounds, and CK would have a 128-point and a 0-point drop round. So technically, whatever happens, CK would actually, no, I'm actually confused. Yes, because he disconnected, so that completely changed everything. I will have to recalculate everything. All you need to know is there won't be any champion tonight. We might have Jarapapa winning his second race in an event that I'm organizing, as he won Bathurst Season 2 at TNTR in the TNTR GT Series, right ahead of me in his GTR, and I was in the Genesis, and I never managed to overtake him. So this time he might have an easy win, 4.5 seconds over him. Roush Racing in second place, our guest driver. First time in SFR GT Challenge race. Goof in third place. He'll really want to overtake Roush to get second place, as it would put him only 4 points behind CK and Interlagos. Wait, what's going on with Goof? He seemed to lose a lot of ground, but I believe it's just the speed differential between the Aston and the Lexus. Probably had a bad exit out of the final chicane. So we'll go through the field once again. Jarapapa in first place. On the softs, so he will have to use the mediums. Hopefully he knows that he has to use the mediums, otherwise he might be disqualified, and that would move Goof up one more spot. So we'll see. I believe Rodrigo is going to tell him. I can't believe he would forget to tell him. I'm pushing the wrong thing. So now let's go back through the field. Roush Racing in the Aston in second place. Goof in third place for STR. Too Rare for Rockefeller Racing in fourth place. Boys Noise for PHRT in fifth place, and his Lexus number 02. Oh, I skipped someone. Cyber in the STR number 25. Chevy Corvette in sixth place. We have Magic Man up from his first lap disaster, now in seventh place. Easy, let me check on his strategy. He's on the mediums, so that's not the softs doing the work. That's Magic Man pushing hard to gain back a few positions. Viper 9 Matt in his Bonne Saint-Jean Quebec race car. Tomorrow is our national holiday in Quebec. And he's in 8th place in the Lexus RCF. 9th place is Fams Hyper in the Porsche. And we also have his teammate in 10th place, J-Rod, in the Corvette. And I believe our last driver is our El Diablo, since we've had 2 DNFs. And he's back in his M6. For Rockefeller Racing, number 27. Jarapapa still leading, and there's still a battle going on for 2nd place between Roush Racing and Captain Goof. But Roush drifting there, still manages to catch his car back again. That slide looked quite bad, but it was under control. I believe Jarapapa's probably gonna start losing time. Tires are gonna wear much faster since he's on the softs, and drivers start with a full tank of fuel. They don't need to refuel, but they start with a very heavy car that gets lighter as the race progresses. So CK is in the chat. Why router? Why? Well, that's really unfortunate, but you're still in the championship. And Jarapapa in the pits. He has to use the mediums. And do we have anyone else pitting? Not so far. I believe everyone is gonna stretch their first stint. I don't think I've seen anyone else starting on the softs. Jarapapa was the only one on the softs, so we'll stay with him during the pit stop. Pit stops are very long on Le Mans, well, much longer than they are on most other tracks in GT Sport. They're still much shorter than they should be in real life. They would be in real life. He's on the mediums. And is he staying inside the white line? Yes. So we won't have any issues with the stewards after the race. That's good. He's down in 6th place. 23 seconds behind Roush Racing. He would, after the pit stop, he would still have about a 3 to 4 second lead over them. Now he's on fresh mediums. It's time to push. Roush Racing leading in the Aston Martin with Goof right behind him. Starting to lose a draft. He'll have to get closer to the Aston Martin if he wants to not lose too much ground to Jarapapa. But Roush Racing seems to struggle on corner exits. And that allows Goof to catch him. But the Aston has a lot more straight line speed than the Lexus. So he's able to get his gap back to what it was, even though he slides in the chicanes. They're heading towards the Michelin chicane, the second chicane on the straight. And now Goof is losing ground. He needs to get closer to Roush Racing. And Too Rare is in 3rd place for Rockefeller Racing in the Chevy. And Boys Noise having a crash. And I believe Cyber is coming towards him, and he's gonna get 4th place away from the Canadian driver. Let's have a look at this. And he just slid on exit of the second chicane. Clipped the wall, probably has some damage. I believe it will be too late to see if he still has damage on his car. Yes, he has front damage. Not that significant, but it's still enough to cause issues on Le Mans with the long straights. So Roush now with 1.4 seconds over Captain Goof. We've seen in Division 1 some drivers attempting a no-stop strategy, and only one managed to pull it off, and that was Turismo Devson, our championship winner, our champion in Division 1 for the first season of SFR GT Challenge. I am losing my words. I'll need to have some water. A lot of talking so far. Lots of action. There's always tons of action on Le Mans. Let's have a look at their tires since I can spy on them. Seems like the Aston has more wear on the rear tires than the Lexus. The Lexus has more wear on the fronts. Will they pit this time and run 7 laps? Nope. Yes, Goof is entering the pits. Is he gonna try to run a 7-lap stint on the softs? Or will he try to do like his manager and run 2 stints on the medium, 7 and 7? We can't say it paid off in Division 1, but there was so much chaos that it wasn't a bad strategy overall. And so Jarapapa now in 4th place. Yes, he's gonna overtake Cyber and Goof right now. And he's on the mediums, they'll be on the softs. I believe Goof is exiting the pits right now, about 4 seconds behind. Who's coming behind him? I think that's Magic Man. But it's not a little too far behind. Where is Cyber gonna exit? He's on the softs. He's gonna exit in 9th place. Viper is in the pits. We still have Roush Racing in 1st place. Now has no draft. He's on his own. And he has, let's have a look at the gap. 23 seconds over Roush Racing, so that, over Jarapapa. So that would mean he would be about 2 to 3 seconds behind the Peruvian driver. And 2 rare on the medium, still in 2nd place in the Chevy Corvette. Boys Noise had a few incidents, but he's still in 3rd place as of now. But after the pit stops, he should exit. He should rejoin, the track. Not exit the track. He should rejoin the track in 6th place after all the pit stops are done. Probably in 5th place. We'll see. The gaps. Let's have a look at the gaps. Well, Hyper isn't pitted yet. Goof is only a few seconds behind Boys Noise, so I assume he would exit he would rejoin the track right behind Cyber. So here you have your leader. Let's ride on board with him. I don't believe there are any battles on track right now. So in this really tricky corner there, especially on worn tires, it's easy to lose the car on exit. Still has 7.6 seconds over 2 rare. The gap with Jarapapa is 22 seconds. So Jarapapa is gaining ground on the leader. And there's a possibility that Goof might end up being ahead of Roush Racing after he enters the pits, exits the pits. So we assume that he's gonna enter the pits now, and the Aston Martin. Seems like it. Yes, and that's gonna be a pit infraction. 1 second for sure. That's a cut on entry. So I can already write it down on lap 8. Yay! Less reviewing to do. And now Jarapapa in the lead, but Goof is not far behind him. He's only 1.4 seconds, but he's on the soft, so he's gonna be faster now. Tire wear is gonna kick in at the end, so we'll have to see what happens. Where is Roush Racing? He's in third. He hasn't cut the line this time. He's 3.6 seconds behind Goof, but he'll have one less lap to do on the softs. Too Rare went in the pits and he's now in fourth. Cyber now in fifth. Boys Noise rejoins the track in sixth. We'll need to have a look at the other drivers. I believe Viper, yes, Viper will probably be ahead of the FAM's drivers, the FAM's teammates, Hyper and J-Rod. Oh, that's gonna be close, but Viper has, yes, is up to speed already. So Magic Man, yes, yes, he went in the pits and he had an incident. Let's have a look at it. Can I catch it on the replay? No, I'll have to use the longer option. Oh, I believe he, I'm not sure exactly what he did there. I cannot go further back than this. Probably exited the pits, got on the brakes and shot to the right and hit the wall, and he has front suspension damage. So now Goof is able to catch up to Jarapapa. He's on the softs. I want to remind everyone that drivers can have one, let's say, defensive move per straight. It's a little harder to, the straights are so long on Le Mans, but you still cannot weave in front of drivers. Otherwise you will get reported and the stewards will have to look at it. The Jaguar has more speed on the straights than the Lexus, so that could be very good for Goof if he stays right behind him. He will want to overtake him as his softs are fresh, but Jarapapa might be able to work with Goof, and that would solidify his position, so he would at worst finish in second place if his tires fall off the cliff at the end of the race. We will see what happens in the next. We have about 5 laps to go, a little more than 5 laps to go, and Goof trying to go too wide. That would have been a great place to overtake, as he's going to be stuck behind Jarapapa in the Jaguar in the Porsche curves. Let's ride on board with him. He'll have to manage his tires a little more than this if he wants to not have excessive wear early on in the stint. But he should be able to overtake Jarapapa quite soon, especially since the mediums are about 2 to 3 seconds slower on Le Mans. That could be an overtake at turn 1. Let's have a look at the broadcast, the TV cameras on the track. Ooh. He's gonna try the outside. He'll have the inside, and he's up in first place, but he'll have to be careful as the Jaguar is very fast. Oh, they're going side by side. That's not a good idea there. Car will get thrown in the grass, heading towards Tertre Rouge. That battle has allowed Roush Racing to gain some ground on the top two drivers. We'll stay with them until the PlayStation chicane, the first chicane. Goof needs to have Jarapapa help him on the straights by bump drafting him. Doesn't seem like the Peruvian driver wants to do that. He wants to lead, he wants to win. For him, the championship doesn't mean anything. All he wants to do is win this race. Same thing with Roush Racing right behind him. So Goof has to race with two drivers who have nothing to lose. Technically, Goof doesn't have anything to lose. He'll still be in a run for the championship in 2 weeks in Brazil, but he wants to have a win, as that would put him in first place, heading in heading towards the final round in Brazil. Seems to be a battle for fourth place, fifth place. I can see it out on a track map. I will try to find it there. Well, 2 Rare is ahead of Cyber. There's a 2.2 second gap. Boys Noise and the Lexus dropped to 6th. He started 6th, but he was up to 3rd at one point. Magic Man in 7th. So Magic Man and Boys Noise are fighting for 3rd place in the championship. But I believe right now, if Magic Man finishes in 7th place, he would clinch 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship. And Hyper and Viper 9 Matt fighting for, that's 8th place. The Porsche driver for Full Attack Motorsports has the inside, heading to the Mulsanne corner, and he'll make it stick and claim 8th place from the Quebec Racer in 9th place now. Viper 9 Matt. Gerard for FAMS in the Chevy Corvette is down in 10th place. And we have El Diablo for Rockefeller Racing in 11th. We'll go back to the battle for first place. Jarapapa still in the lead, holding the 2 drivers on softs right behind him. That's not the ideal scenario for Goof. He needs to overtake the Peruvian driver before he has too much wear on the softs. But now Roush Racing trying to overtake Goof, and now Goof losing 2nd place to the American driver in the Aston Martin. That's the worst case scenario now for Goof. He needs to get as many points as he can, since CK will score 0 points today, as he disconnected before 70% of race distance, so he will be won't be classified for round 9. Now maybe Roush Racing could challenge Jarapapa and bring Goof with him. We'll see. The Jag and the Aston are clearly faster on the straights than the Lexus. So we'll ride on board with Goof. I said on board. I cannot get on board, but that's the closest thing I can get to on board. Seems like the Aston is so fast. Catching Jarapapa. Will he try to overtake him? The Peruvian driver defending. And oh! We'll try to go. Well, the trackside cameras. That was quite a gutsy move there. Hasn't worked. We've seen similar moves in Division 1 that ended in tears. Only a little over 3 laps, well, 3.5 laps to go in this race. Goof trying to draft with Roush Racing. And now Goof has to overtake Jarapapa as quickly as possible so Roush doesn't escape with the lead. And he has to make sure he doesn't lose a draft. He's in the danger zone. If these two work together, they'll be able to create a gap. But Jarapapa doesn't seem to want to work with anyone. He wants to win. He's there for the win. Doesn't have to worry about any championship math. He's there for number one, P1. So Goof needs to get closer to them. They're going side by side. That's gonna help him. Roush overtaking Jarapapa there, heading towards Indianapolis. Side by side, there's nothing between them. Oh, and an aggressive move by the Peruvian driver. But he decides to lift. He could have pushed Roush wide, but that's gonna... Oh no! Oh no, and Goof overshoots. And he's losing a lot of ground to these two drivers. Unless there's something bad going on between... unless something bad happens between the Aston and the Jag. It seems like Goof will be stuck in third place. It's gonna be hard to close up the gap to the Aston Martin driver, since he will have fresher softs at the end of the race. And Jarapapa will still be on the mediums, and the mediums can be slightly faster at the end of the stint than softs, with tire wear kicking in. That's very wide there. Well, Marcus, there wasn't anything there, honestly. Goof tried to overtake corner. There was no, I believe there was no contact there. They were not, he was not right behind him. We still have the Aston in the lead, Jarapapa in second place. Goof now down in third place, 4.2 seconds behind Jarapapa. Okay. And two rare in fourth place for Rockefeller Racing. That would be, I believe, his best result this season. Cyber in fifth place for STR. Boys Noise in sixth place. There was contact. Well, it will be looked at by the stewards after the race if there was contact, as Boys Noise goes wide there in sixth place for PHRT. That was close. I am not sure. I haven't seen any contact on my screen. There could have been contact. I am not sure what happened. But the Peruvian driver is not giving up. Oh, and side-to-side contact there. They're playing rough. Robbins Racing, as long as they don't punt each other off the track, that's not over the limit. And if they keep fighting, it will enable Goof to catch up with them. He's well, the gap hasn't changed. We'll see what happens now. The Aston with the soft tires in first place, but where should start to have an impact on his pace. Let's have a look. And second place, well, the mediums are barely worn, even though he has to run an 8-lap stint on the mediums. But they're slower. But there's a point when the worn softs become slower than slightly worn mediums. We might be getting close to that crossover point. Jarapapa in the lead. Roush Racing in second place now. Papa wiggling, struggling on exit, trying to find the grip on his mediums. No, they're not working together. They are trying to win, and Goof is now 11 seconds behind them. Let's have a look at the replay. What happened there? I believe he crashed at that's Indianapolis? Yes. Can I go back a little more? I don't think I can have a longer replay of this incident. No, I can't. So we've missed what caused the incident, but he's now down 12 seconds behind Roush Racing. Let me find the right one. Okay, so the battle for first place is still raging on. Now they're still bumper to bumper, first and second. It doesn't seem to have any impact. Did either of these guys register? Yes, they did. Roush Racing has been registered for 3 months, but hasn't raced so far. And Jarapapa is registered. Unfortunately, we weren't able to give him a livery in time since he had a save game corrupt bug. I don't know. He got all these daily workout cars one after the other for 20 minutes, so that's why he joined the lobby very late. And that's why we weren't able to give him his livery in time. How are they subbing for? I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Ah, okay, well, they are subbing for open entries. 3 FAMS drivers withdrew. There was also Atlas who wasn't replaced, so they're not scoring team points. They're only in it for the driver points. So Roush Racing in first place, Jarapapa in second place. They've been swapping positions for a while. They're the only, well, actually there are no team subs tonight. We have 3 substitute drivers. We have Roush Racing, we have Jarapapa, and we also have El Diablo in 11th place, who's a Rockefeller Racing sub, but he's not eligible for team points since he's using his personal car. That's all the rules of SFR GT Challenge. So technically, the 2 drivers scoring points for STR are Goof and Cyber. The only driver scoring points for PHRT is Boys Noise. The 2 drivers scoring points for RR are Too Rare and Magic Man. And Hyper and J-Rod are scoring points for FAMS. Now Jarapapa is still in the lead. Roush might be starting to struggle on his softs. The car is much lighter than it was on the first stint. So tire wear is not that significant, but it's still gonna have an impact on corner exits and in the slower corners and the chicanes. Probably a lot of understeer on entry and oversteer on exit. Seems like that's what has been plaguing him since the start of the race. And Jarapapa's mediums are not that badly worn so far, and it's been, I believe it's his 7th lap on the mediums. So we are entering the final lap. Jarapapa, the Peruvian driver, in first place, followed by the American racer Roush Racing 1716. Clearly a NASCAR fan. The Aston Martin. So while we are in the final lap, Roush Racing has the fastest lap, but he's losing ground to Jarapapa. And we still have Goof, our championship contender, in third place. Desperately needs to have something happen between the top two drivers to gain a few more spots to have a better shot at the championship. So if if the results are the way they are right now, CK would enter the race on Interlagos with a 8-point lead over Goof. But since he got disconnected, his next drop round will be 24 points. Same thing with Goof, 24 points. So Goof would need to win the race in Brazil, and CK would need to finish third or lower for if Goof wants to win the championship. So that's the new objective. So we won't have a champion in Division 2 tonight. It's gonna go down to the wire in Interlagos in Brazil. These two haven't stopped fighting for the last few laps. Roush Racing and Jarapapa. Who's gonna win this race? Roush Racing on worn softs and Jarapapa on moderately worn mediums. So Goof needs to stay in third place, but he has 1.8 seconds over 2 air. What's going on? So tire wear is much higher in the Lexus than in the... Oh, actually, he went in the pits a lap earlier, so that's why it's go... Okay, yeah. That's an amazing battle between the two drivers. Jarapapa back in the lead, heading towards Indianapolis. Will they have lap traffic until the end of the race? I believe we have El Diablo, but I think he's far ahead of them. He's heading towards the Porsche curves as they exit the slowest corner until the Ford chicanes. That's going to be exciting to see who's going to have the victory. Jarapapa should be slightly slower in the Porsche curves. The Jaguar driver is still in first place, right in front of the Aston Martin. Some incidents will be under review, and we have to remind everyone that Roush Racing is going to get a 1-second penalty for a pit infraction. And we have a lap car spinning. It's not going to affect the results. We don't know about other penalties, but we know Roush will get a 1-second penalty, and there was contact there. And Jarapapa and the Jaguar will win this race. Obviously, the results are not final until there's a review. Roush Racing and the Aston Martin finishes in second place. Goof will end up in third place. If there was contact, the incident will be reviewed by the stewards. Two Rare in fourth place for Rockefeller Racing. Cyber in fifth place for STR. Boys Noise in sixth place for PHRT, Powerhouse Racing Team. Magic Man, after having a a major issue on lap 1 at the chicane and having a crash out of the pits, will claim 7th place. For Rockefeller Racing. Viper in 8th place in the Lexus. It's probably gonna go celebrate our national holiday now that the race is over. And celebrates with a spin. El Diablo has already crossed the finish line and he's a lap down, so he's gonna finish in 11th. Hyper for FAMS finishes in 9th, and Gerard in 10th place for FAMS. Here are your final results. The winner, but in the Jaguar. Almost missed the race, but he gave us a great show. And is the winner for tonight. Let's save this replay because there's going to be a lot of reviewing to do. Here are your final results. Jarapapa, Roush Racing in 2nd place, Goof in 3rd place. We'll have the interviews. Let me invite them. And who finished 4th? Too rare. Oh yeah, I need to send invites. Okay, I have my keyboard, sorry about that, I keep forgetting. Let's hope everyone is sharing their audio. So let's create this chat. I forgot to create it ahead of time. This is gonna happen now. Good. Invites have been sent. Let's wait for them to join the party. So we're still waiting to see if our race winner is going to join the party or not. Let me check with... Okay. Doesn't seem like we will have an interview with our race winner tonight. So we will start with Roush Racing. Finished in 2nd place. That was a crazy battle with Jarapapa for the win. How was your first race in SFR GT Challenge?
It was pretty good. I think if I had a little bit more track time and got to know a little bit more of what people could do around this track, I think I'd been a little bit less nervous coming in.
Yes, well, you did a great job. You started on the mediums, and you had basically the reverse strategy that Jarapapa had. So you started on mediums and finished on softs, and he started on the softs and finished on the mediums. So that made for a great battle at the end. How were your tires holding on at the end of the race in the Aston? I know it can create a lot of understeer on entry and oversteer on exit. Was it a handful?
The exit was, I think I had the most problem with the exit. The only time when I had entry problems was when I was on the worn mediums.
Yes.
I think if I would have pitted when Captain did, I don't think it'd been such a problem. I wouldn't have lost as much time as I did.
Yes, as you came out in 3rd place behind Goof, but I believe you were ahead of him entering the pit window.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Well, that was an interesting race, and I want to congratulate you on your podium for your first race in the league. I will move on to Captain Goof. Well, that was a crazy race. There was a red flag early on, and then we had a disconnection for your championship rival, CK. So you are still in the contention for the championship on Interlagos. We'll have to review and finalize all the results, but I believe so far we can confirm that the title will be decided in 2 weeks. So how was your race? It's been you had to battle with guys in very fast cars on the straights.
It was perfectly fine. I mean, Roush raced me, respectfully, and I really appreciate that. So did Two Bear. Two Bear helped out a lot. Um, it was pretty iffy in the start, but pretty much after my pit stop to get soft tires, I was rolling. I was doing very well. I was picking up pace. That's why I got in front of Roush, beat him out of pits and stuff.
Yeah.
But Papa, it was kind of crazy that he was holding me up, but I mean it's perfectly fine. He was on the mediums. I was on faster tires, but
Yeah.
it's fine. I mean he was on a faster car on the straights, but like dude, you can't just hold me up the whole time. But other than that, it was
Yeah,
fun.
well, yeah, the difference is these drivers like Roush and Jarapapa were in for the race win, not necessarily for the championship. So they didn't have necessarily the same strategy or the same approach to this race. So they were going for it. We'll see if there was any incident to review, but I guess he was trying to defend his lead on the slower tires.
And that's fully understandable. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have done the same thing, but overall, I mean, I had a very fun race. The start was a little iffy, but the
Yeah.
Lexus started coming to me, and it was kind of beating and banging around with everybody. But overall, everyone was respectful, and I had fun, and I hope these guys had fun as well. And I'm looking forward to Interlagos, and thank you for hosting.
Well, you're welcome, and I want to thank you for this amazing race. And I can tell you, all the viewers were uh, basically chatting all race, cheering you on. STR teammates in the chat, they want to congratulate you for your performance. A great job. And we'll see how the championship is gonna unfold in Brazil in 2 weeks. So thank you, Gu, for the interview. Now we'll move on to Too Rare for Rockefeller Racing. 4th place, I believe that was your best result this season.
Yeah, that is my best result so far.
So you were involved in the battle early on in the race, and then you had a relatively lonely race towards the end on the second stint. How were the mediums this time?
The mediums were good. I actually spent the whole practice session running on the mediums because I was going to run the majority of my race on them. So I thought I'd get used to them. Strategy worked out pretty well. I didn't have the best start. I think I was like 7th. But working my way up to 4th at the end, I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, that was a great result for you. So, how are your feelings heading towards the final race? I believe, with these results, RR is now in. I think RR is now in 3rd place in the championship. Oh, I think it was already in 3rd place in the championship. So forget about this. So, what are your thoughts heading towards in the last race in Interlagos?
I'm
Is it a track
excited
you
for it.
enjoy?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's a little bit of a love-hate sometimes, but overall I enjoy it. I think I'll have a pretty good run there. It's definitely gonna require a lot of concentration all the way through.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks in Brazil. So I want to thank you guys for the interviews. I'm out of breath. That was a crazy race. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks for the final round of the Division 2 series in the SFR GT Challenge. Next week we'll have the final race for Division 1 drivers on Interlagos. So the round 10 in Brazil for both divisions. We already have a champion in Division 1, Turismo Defson. We will crown a champion in 2 weeks for Division 2 in Brazil. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week.